difficult, especially if its gang helped him. Newton sat there feeling foolish for the trouble he could have caused a few hours ago. Tusco said, "Don't feel bad about it. I knew you would try to see them after I told you not to. I was hoping, in a way, that you would, so you could try out the Ebon inside you, to see if it was working." Suddenly, a robot that looked like a large flashlight battery came onto the bridge, swinging its arms about, shouting, "Warning, warning, danger approaching." Newton's ears suddenly heard Obakova yelling as he came up the elevator. "You didn't tell Obakova about the prisoners, did you?" Newton didn't even have to tell him. Tusco had already read his mind. A large iguanodon with the name of Godzilla reported, "The prisoners have escaped." Obakova shouted finally, "I'm sorry. They got me to let them out. I was powerless." Newton heard a lizard-looking dinosaur say as it crawled on the floor, "Stupid humanoid." Tusco shouted, "Prepare the shrink ray. All crew personnel watch out for the two gangs. They are deadly." Suddenly the two gangs entered the bridge. The ship's computers began reporting the casualties they had caused. 5 dinosaurs were laying unconscious, and 10 humanoids were laying either bitten in two or were crushed. Garcia shouted, It's nice being free again. It's amazing how nothing has ever changed on a ship." Tusco said, "Now that you have seen it, I suggest that you return to your cell." The huge Tyrannosaurus by the name of Garcia said, "Well, what do you think, Silverfeather?" "I think Tusco should be put in the cell instead. We have had enough of it." Suddenly, before anyone could think of anything, Garcia leaped off the floor and attacked Tusco. Right when the other dinosaur crew was going to help Tusco fight off Garcia, the two Tyrannosauruses and 4 Allosauruses attacked them, biting the dinosaurs in the necks and clawing their sides. Garcia had its long tail wrapped around Tusco's legs and was twisting Tusco's head around by yanking and pulling on his tusks. Newton felt helpless as he and Obakova run under the huge control panels to keep from being crushed by the huge dinosaurs. Newton saw Tusco ramming Garcia into the wall, causing a tremendous thundering crash that almost knocked Obakova out from the shockwaves. Suddenly, Garcia began slamming Tusco into the control panels, causing them to explode. Every time they exploded, the spaceship would rock from side to side. A dinosaur that looked like a skin-colored duck yelled out, "We're now traveling off into another dimension." Newton tried to think of something to do. Garcia was beginning to really work Tusco over now. Everything Tusco was trying to use failed against this supernaturally powerful creature that had some tricks up its sleeve also. Tusco tried to freeze and burn the creature, but all it did was endanger Tusco's crew. Suddenly, Newton and everyone else noticed a terrifying thing. Garcia was tossing about an unconscious Tusco. Garcia began ripping at Tusco's neck with its powerful jaws. Newton,
"Not so bad. Let him know what I'm saying." That move, I think, would bring down boxing like Samson bringing down the temple. Boxing would then be as popular as it was during the Larry Holmes era, maybe even less so. Or not. July 1st, 1997, Tuesday night. I was able to make time enough to go to the Building of Pain at 720 9th Street today. In other words, the Sacramento County Courthouse. And I was able to make copies of my criminal record at 15 cents per page, coming out to around $5 due to the length of it. In other words, it cost me $5 to make my lynching rope for the school district to hang me with. Being that the record contains repeated detail of all the 16 counts, I was thinking that it was a long rope for the hanging. In the process of putting it together, I was able to read what Detective Kirk Campbell reported about me, such as mentioning that I had put the religious significance of the Gulf War on the end of tapes, along with talking about OJ rap, and now how it could be perceived as being, quote, offensive to African Americans. When I read that, it cemented the idea even more within me that I was putting together for the school district, and who knows what else, for me, something highly damning of me. And I kept on thinking how incredibly miraculous it would be if I were ever actually able to work with a student again. Oh. Anyway, while there, I looked for Bob Kozak's name to see when he was booked at the Sacramento police station for his offense, whatever it was. According to the microfilm mine was on, my booking took place April 12th of last year. His, believe it or not, took place 5 days later on the 17th. Anyway, after that, I ran over to the new police department to see if I could get my police records from there, and couldn't. So, what it comes down to is, I probably never will. I probably will never be able to see what my mugshot looks like. The lady at the counter said she'll send the district a copy of my record. And with that, I headed back to the Bering and Supply. Headed back to Bering and Supply, hoping that would be the last time I would ever have to darken the doors of the building of pain. Oh well, what else? Well, tomorrow I have to get my court document certified and sent off. Only good news I have to say is that the stuff I...
Congratulations.